Hey, you guys, this is Mother Mary like I have never ever heard her before. I've actually had a bit of trouble channeling her in the past because she makes me cry every time until this past Saturday. I can't be in her presence. It is so loving that it's actually hard to take in. But something insane happened this weekend, and I was working with some women at this beautiful party, and Mother Mary stepped forward for me to channel for one of the women. But, and this is absolutely true, she actually stayed outside of the house because she knew if she had just popped up right there, I'd be completely useless and sobbing. So she stayed outside the house, and I was able to channel her in that way. And what she said shocked the hell out of me. And I want to share it with you guys. You guys know Mother Mary. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of Mary Magdalene. There is actually a large soul family called Magdalene Soul Group. I usually call it just like the Marys, because apparently there were several Marys back in the day. But what she wanted to talk about made me laugh, because I always talk about Mary Magdalene as being kind of the renegade, right? I always think of her, she actually was more than a disciple. She was like an apostle. She was like a co-teacher. And that's definitely not the story you hear most of the time. Most of the time you hear like, oh, Mary Magdalene was like crazy and Jesus had to excise 7 demons out of her. I'm not kidding. Anyway, and so Mary Magdalene is a little spicy because was a total badass in that lifetime. So was Jesus. We don't think of them like this often, but if you actually think about it, the things they were teaching and saying, and the population, like the demographics they were including, were truly shocking for that time. Like Jesus hung out with like the prostitutes, the lepers, the criminals. He didn't care. And that was his whole point. Just like unconditional love. And Mary Magdalene followed him, was a partner with him, and taught the same. And it was revolutionary. But Mother Mary came in and was like, yeah, I would like to share my version of the story because I think I was pretty ballsy. And yet I'm mostly known like for having sunbeams come out of my palms, and people associate with me with like roses and doves. And she's like, I would like to add just a little more to that version. And I was like, oh my God, because literally, like, I think I've just never been able to channel her well enough to hear this because I always end up sobbing. So she was like, listen, I grew up and I was basically one of a bunch of girls, and we were being groomed for something important. It was like a little vague. We didn't really know exactly what was going on. We did know that it was a very great honor to have been chosen in this group. And we did know that it had to do with God. I'm not religious, but I do say God because I'm lazy and I'm used to it. But so just so you know that. And I respect every other religion, by the way. So she was like, I did the training. None of us totally knew what was going on, but I had faith and trust and enthusiasm, so I didn't sweat it. I did the best I could, and then She said, and then I was sitting on the steps one day and Archangel Gabriel appeared to me. And I understand this as a born clairvoyant. So she said, he appeared to me as a human form with wings, which is not the big deal here. But the big deal is so that she would understand he was an archangel, he appeared very largely, one. And two, and this is really rare, he appeared like as tangible as whatever screen you're watching. Like she's like, I could not see through him. And I know what she's talking about because that has happened with me. I've been clairvoyant since birth, but let me tell you, I have only seen I've only seen beings completely non-see-through, like they're flesh and blood, a handful of times. And I'm 45. So she was super young, and in comes this blazing, enormous, totally non-transparent archangel. Okay, that would freak most people out. She was not born clairvoyant. You know what I'm saying? She was not like born like with any natural overt psychic abilities. I don't like that word, but you know what I mean. So she said, right there, can we just stop right there and give me a little credit? Because a lot of men back then, and this is what she said, she's like, those biblical men, a lot of those biblical men, when they were shown something akin to the supernatural or the Holy Spirit or God or whatever it was, whenever something of that nature appeared to most biblical men, they did not keep their cool. They freaked out. But Mother Mary was like, okay, didn't freak out, didn't yell, didn't run, just kept sitting and was like, obviously, what's going on? She just waited. She got her message. And she's like, do you understand that his message being, hey, you're going to give birth like magically without sex to the Son of God. And it's going to just, no sex, nothing, like immaculate conception, and you're going to pop this little baby out, and he's literally going to be like the extension of God. Okay, that's weird. Can you imagine sitting somewhere and just getting that? I've gotten some weird messages from big old angels like that, but it doesn't matter. It's not like that message was less weird back then. It was just as weird. And she was just as aware of that as we are today. And this is really striking me as like a big deal because I always feel like my story is so weird. And it's like, it freaks people out. Whatever. I've lost a lot of friends over this, so she knew from the start. Oh, wow. Okay. So I am probably the girl. I just got this wacky ass message from Archangel Gabriel. I'm going to give birth to the Son of God, but not through human means. It's like the fetus is just going to like appear in my stomach and like just, he's going to come out and he's going to be the Son of God, and I'm going to be the mom of the Son of God, right? No. I was like, who wants to tell anyone that? I mean, like literally, like I had to come out of the spiritual closet and I not to say anything like that. And I was freaking out. So that alone makes her a complete boss. To carry on, she's like, all right, faith and trust. faith and trust. That's what she kept saying. She's like, she didn't understand it. And right away, she was ridiculed. Right away. Like, you can't say that story to anyone and just have them be like, cool, yeah, oh, I get it. No. She's like, from that point, I heard it all of it. Like, she was like, it was not like a hunky-dory, like cute Mother Goose story. It was like, okay, I was like kind of weirdly religiously trained for something, and I got picked, and now here's the deal, and it's real weird. And then she's like going along. She has to like convince her hubby that like it really was an immaculate conception. You know, you're going to be a little insecure as Joseph, right? Yeah, yes, anyone would be. And then she's like noticing that nothing matches. She's like, wait, hold on. Like, the night she gave birth to Jesus, and that actually was not his name. That was like more of a title that came later. And Christmas is not actually his birthday. I just want to put that out there. They picked that date so they could squash this one really large pagan festival they wanted to get rid of. Anyway, so she's like, all right, this is going down tonight. I'm going to have this baby tonight. And they're wandering the streets, and like there's nowhere for them to go, and like no one's like taking them in. And she's like, what, okay, am I giving birth to the Son of God? Because like you know, if that's the case, she definitely was not expecting to do it on a pile of hay. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. If somebody told me like, you're going to give birth to like Jesus Jr. or whatever, I would not expect to have to do it like squatting in a barn. You know what I'm saying? I would think like, oh, okay. Oh, that sounds really important. I'll probably get like, you know, we'll get this figured out, but I'll probably have like a pretty awesome, you know, birthing arrangement. But no, she just got that baby out like in a barn on some hay. Just popped out that like King of God thing with the, you know, manure and the farm animals. Like, nothing was making sense. Nothing looked the way she thought it would or should. But, and then she made a joke, which again shocked me because I never heard her make a joke. She said, but I just kept calm and carried on. She said, and there's a reason why that's embroidered on so many pillows. And I was like, this is so freaking crazy right now. This is amazing. It's amazing. Like, it was so great. I'm like, okay, I can channel you. You just have to stay like kind of far away because like I can't handle that much love. Whatever. That's my own issue. But she gave birth, and then it was like kind of the equivalent of like the paparazzi explosion. You know what I'm saying? It's like she was the mother of the Son of God, or the, I don't know how they called it, but it was like Jesus was like either the Son of God, or like people were saying like he was God, like in human form. She didn't know. She was like, I don't know. It's not like anyone gave her any insider information. So she was like, all right, I just like, I don't know, just go. And she did her best to mother him. And actually, he actually did travel a lot and have a pretty, I guess I would call it like a, what's it called? Like untraditional education. Definitely. Like an eclectic education. And she ensured that that happened. Because obviously, if he's going to be like the Son of God, or, you know, God limb or something, you know, we better get like him up and rolling, so like he can speak intelligently, and like this whole thing can like not just like go up in flames and be a complete disaster. But she really had to withstand so many naysayers and doubters and skeptics. from the start, and it was really hard on her. She is just like any of us. We get our feelings hurt all the time. And her reputation was battered around like a piñata for a long while. And she just kept going. She had her primary directive in her heart, which was serving God. So, and I get that. Like when I died, I was like, all right, God, I'm all in. I will go back totally, but you're going to have to tell me what to do. Like, I get that. I get having that feeling and being like, okay, this is like terrible, or this is weird, or this is crazy, but like, okay, I promised, you know? And that's how she lived for a while until things kind of settled down a little more, and the heat and the attention and the friction and rebelliousness shifted more so to her son. But she just wants to make it clear that there was a whole nother side to her that is not represented by like chirping robins and sunshine beams from her palm and roses. She was just as badass as Mary Magdalene and Jesus. She wants everyone to know it. The other thing she mentioned at the end, which I was like, oh, whoa, she actually said, I have one more thing I want to mention, and that is how flippant we've become about friendship. And she actually was specifying female friendship. And I was trying to explain this to this woman. She was a bit older than me. And I was like, it's kind of like, have you ever heard the term, this is like not nice, so I'm not going to say the whole thing, but it's like, have you ever heard the term like bros before beep, right? And she had not. So I was like, okay, well, Mary's saying that in our day and age, she notices that, especially between women, friendship is almost flippant. It's taken for granted. And she wants all of us to adjust our perception a little bit about this. That friendship between women are not to be taken lightly, and they are sacred. They're sacred. And if we do take them for granted, just like with any kind of relationship, that's when, you know, paths can diverge. She said, I just have one request. Please treat your female friendships like they are sacred, because they are. And think about, well, how do you treat something that is sacred? What does that mean to you? Time spent and care provided, whether that's like emotional or physical, or keeping current with that person. There's a bazillion ways to exchange and express love. But she really wanted to hit home that there's nothing that enables two women friends to just assume, oh, friendships last forever. No relationship that is very intimate just lasts forever without that North Star of treating it as sacred, as being willing to be honest and selfless and a cheerleader, while still not conforming or compromising your own personal values. So I just wanted to mention that, because I definitely wasn't prepared for that part. I mean, the whole thing blew my mind. Then that last little touch about friendship really kind of moved me. And I really agreed with it. And I've had that experience, and I just thought it was pretty beautiful that you brought that up. So that's it, you guys. That's what I have. And I'm just so excited because, you know, I finally got to actually really talk with her without sobbing. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Just write them in the comments right now. You can ask her anything. She's saying she's an open book. And if you like these channelings, let me know who else you would like me to channel. It doesn't have to be an angel. It doesn't have to be an ascended master. It could be like, you know, one of my main guides is Wayne Dyer. Visit my website, susandyer.com. If you want to learn about classes or sessions or mentorships. And yeah, I'm just around. Please like this video, pass it on to anyone you feel like might be encouraged and feel a little bit less restricted after watching this. That would be my goal. That's always my goal. Like less rules, like just more authentic connection. Don't worry about the details. Just worry about the quality of the relationship. Thank you. That was from her. Okay, I'm going to check the comments. And actually, I don't think I see any questions, which is sad because she is definitely willing to talk about anything, which I really appreciate. I'm like, where is she? I'm like, oh, she's on my patio in the backyard. But anyway, I guess I'll close it up. Thank you guys. I hope you liked this. I thought it was so awesome. I will never look at her again the same way. And I hope maybe it opened up something for you too. So I'll be back on. I like doing these lives. I'd love to engage with you and like do a little convo, little Q&A on whomever's behalf. That would be my goal. So thank you guys. I love you all. And come back and visit me again. All right. Good night, guys.